How do you know when you've done your very best? Good morning. Welcome to a new morning show. Today is, excuse me. Today is February 29th. It is a leap year. And it's Throwback Thursday. Yes. So many throwbacks like comedians. Shout out to Dane Cook. I also thought about the best of you with the Foo Fighters. Throwback Thursday, everybody. But before our theme, let's go hit those dad jokes. Are you guys ready? Zito, are you ready for my dad joke? Okay. So I am going to try to keep my best. Where are the average things manufactured? Where are average things manufactured? At the Satisfactory. Oh, put a boom. Get it, get it, get it. Oh my gosh, I thought it was cool. All right, so our theme this whole week has been on getting better. All right. So let's do a little recap. We'll go to the next slide. So we got our theme. And I want to say that I'm so grateful that I've been able to share so many videos. And I do have a video for you as well. But if we go back to what we've done throughout the week, is we started with Joe Rogan with a video on how to, let me see if I could, no, I don't have, well, you remember the video if you've been with us since Monday. Basically talking about finding something you really enjoy, all right? And then work your very best. And then we had yesterday, we had Danielle Laporte talking to us about how do you want to feel when you get there. And then I believe it was on Tuesday, we had a cool song in a band I never heard before. And they had 3 lessons for us. Stop thinking about yourself. Focus on someone else. Ask a question. Please care. And then listen. All right. But I want to show you today we're going to go back to that Thursday. We're going to go to that clip of Dane Cook. Let's see if you guys remember who Dane Cook is. And it's so fitting because I remember watching this, and after cracking up, I'm pretty sure I was tearing up a little bit. Okay, let's see how many of us can relate to what he's got to say. All right, let's watch that clip. This is Dane Cook back in the 2000s. Here we go.
Then as you're crying, what happens is it starts to feel good that you're crying like that. And what you do is you latch on to one phrase that you just repeat over and over again. Just something that means something to you. You're like, I did my best. I did my best. I did my best. I did my fucking best. I did my best. I did my best. And then you think you hear somebody coming in, you're like, hello?
Yes. All right. So Dane Cook in the house, bringing it back to the 90s. It reminds me so much of Jimmy because he's the one who introduced him to me when we were just friends. And I was like, wow, this guy is as hilarious as Dane Cook. And another thing that Jimmy introduced me to, we're going to stick it to some Throwback Thursday with the same theme, is Best of You. Who remembers Foo Fighters? I'm a small clip. I love this part. Is someone getting the best of you? Okay. So with all that said, sometimes I feel like in certain songs or influences, even though this is a joke, I mean, I've said it. I've cried saying I've done my very best, like when you fail at something a couple of times and you're like, what? I study. What? I gave it my best. And yes, we gotta cry, people. We gotta cry, and we gotta be able to like absolutely um get in those negative feelings so we could get into the other side. So the other thing I want to say, or what I would like for all of us to remember, is that find out where you believe you done your very best. Like it's not for someone else, but it's for what you believe your very best is. And sure, okay, so you done your best, like, okay, I study, I'm not passing this test. um it's am I going to be disappointed? Am I going to be discouraged? Oh yeah. And I want to feel that and then get back on the bike. I mean, that's what my dad said, right? I learned how to ride a bike in one day. He said, get back on that bike. And that's what I've been it's been my motto, and I'm very grateful for my dad because he told me to get back on the bike. All right. And so how do I know? And speaking of dads, I have a video on Instagram where it's a little girl and a dad. Like the whole Instagram, it's about dad, mom, they're traveling, but they're doing something else with their children. They're doing sports. However, in sports, they're taking the opportunity to teach life. And that's how I see it. When my dad told me get back on that bike, I was like, okay, he's like, hey, today you're gonna learn how to ride a bike. Oh, today, like this whole week. My mom was like, well, oh, cool. Like how many, like every Saturday? No, 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 no. Today, Patty's gonna learn how to ride the bike. And he was determined. And when I fell, he said, get back on the bike. He like make sure my knee was okay and there was no broken bones. He's like, yeah, get back on the bike. And when I fell really hard, he did put water on it. And he goes, no, get back on the bike, because if you don't get back on the bike, you're going to be afraid. So get back on that bike. I'm like, okay. This is also the 80s. And so I believe parents were way more hardcore than parents today. I mean, I'm a helicopter tia. I'm an auntie, right? I mean, I can only imagine how I'm gonna be with children. So anyway, all this to say that those are lessons that children remember. And so with all this, it was so nice to find someone in Instagram that it's balancing that kind of like tough love or whatever, like persistence, with also being in touch of doing your very best, and that being absolutely what matters. So let's kick off with that Instagram. If we could show that up. I want to give hey, here we go. So we're gonna go to the Instagram. Yeah, right there. And let's just hear it. I'm gonna shut up and let a 7-year-old tell us what does it feel like when you've done your best. All right, let's play that clip. Thank you.
Dada,
Yeah,
I'm floating.
you're floating?
Look at this. I'm just floating. I'm so light. I'm floating. Wow. This is crazy. I'm not even sinking. This is crazy, Dad. Just floating around a surfing wave.
Now stop here.
Yeah, why?
Hey, today we get free refills.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Yeah, no track.
No tracks? Yeah, the snow is filling them back in and giving us another fresh run.
Yeah, ready?
Yeah.
I'm going slowly going because I might hit that tree. No, not hitting that tree today. Okay. Cool. go up here. Then I'm going to lip it down in.
Oh, smooth.
Dada.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love it.
floating.
You're
Guys,
floating?
Look at this.
so beautiful. So beautiful. So many things to that. Please drop it in the comments as rewatch it. I will definitely put that in the comments later after the show. Oh gosh, you guys, it gets me so tear up. Okay, because I believe that is letting her be to like choose certain things. And I might get to this video or not, but there's actually training before you get obviously in the snowboard that it's important, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun. And it's just that freedom. When we have freedom, we float. When we have restriction, it's rigid. So when I'll repeat that again, freedom, flow, restriction, rigid. Oh gosh, that right there, because I did I my mom was very disciplined and definitely very strict with me. And I'm so grateful for my dad bringing that balance into my life, because even though he was determined, he was also very compassionate, very forgiving. You know, he will wipe my tears. Absolutely. He will kiss me all over my face, tell me it's going to be okay, and be like, get back on the bike. Okay. Very loving. Very loving. So, what I love about this, I'm floating, Dada. Oh, gosh. I could watch this all day, pretty much all day. Because, again, for me, and what I'm getting is freedom, is flow, restriction, rigid, and I want to flow. And so, and where does that freedom come? That's the question, my friends. And this is where, for me, self-reflection is the most sophisticated tool I could ever own with the pen and paper. Okay, what brings me freedom? What are some of the activities that I can do that gets me closer to this feeling? And for me, one of the things that has come up, it's taking ownership, knowing that I have a choice, that I have the freedom to choose. And it's not because we live in the United States, because the United States is still filled with institution, but I have the freedom to choose. And when we start taking that self-responsibility, true freedom comes. You know why? Because we care so much less of what people think about us. When we've done the work, the writing, the talking, the going out for walks, the praying, when we've done that work and then we make a choice, choice is done. It's been cleared. It's a go. So I could care less what other people think. And I'm seriously saying that as someone who spent all her life people pleasing. I said I had a very strict mother who only had two choices for me. I was either going to be a doctor or a lawyer. That's it. Very strict, until I stepped up and said, no, I'm gonna go 3 hours away to a college to get a degree that only that college gives, and that's youth development. And I'm going there. I'm not asking for permission. I'm going. This is my purpose. My purpose is to run an after school program, a summer camp. That was my purpose. And I said, no, this is what I want. This is my major. And once you are solid on what you're going to do, that pressure, or you step in more comfortable. So how do I know when I've done my very best? Is when I've done the work, when I've done the self-reflecting on making that decision. And again, I know we just watched a video, very playful. Dada, I'm flowing. And flowing is, I could also say with that, so point one, right? For me, it's that freedom comes from making choices. To that data I'm flowing, I could also, and I think about my husband or the weatherman. Yes, I marry the weatherman. And what he brings to the table is that, man, does that man put in his reps? He's got three black belts in Taekwondo. That's someone who flows in the, is it the field? What, I don't know what you call it. The mat. That's someone, because I've seen him. And his moves are, to me, pure perfection. And that comes from all the reps, from that hard work. And speaking of him, can we bring up the weatherman? I believe I see him in the green room. Because weatherman, I hope you are ready and not chewing. I really would like to know, what's the weather, man?
Hey, Patty, right now the car says 67 degrees Fahrenheit, and it feels like 67 degrees Fahrenheit, and the weather today should be going up to 72. It'll be warm today, not as warm as yesterday, but it's going to be very pleasant.
Okay. Well, thank you. The weatherman. Look at that shot.
If you're not in Central Florida, I have no idea.
Okay, so he's a local weatherman, like so local to like only, not
Like
even
where
Orlando, just
I
like
know
Metro West.
I
All right.
know-
I'm sorry, I had muted you for a second. Say that again.
I said I don't know anything else. I really just know like the weather, like where I am, like where I'm standing.
Yeah, like where he's standing. What the car is saying. He's taking the temperature from the car. So if you're like in Kissimmee or Hunter's Creek or somewhere far away, I mean, we don't know. It may be like thundering by your side.
There's some clouds out there. Looks like it might rain, but
yeah.
I'm not really a weatherman. I have no idea.
Yeah, he just plays one on TV, people. Babe, remember the Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
It's Throwback Thursday. How do you like it that I didn't do any hip hop or R&B? I went back to well, actually, this is like 2000, right?
I'm afraid that you might have been kidnapped and replaced by a robot.
What do you mean?
Because there's no hip hop or R&B for Throwback Thursday.
Oh, like this is not me. This is AI speaking. No, it's me. I can reassure you. Guys, make sure you I know when I put Zito in here, make sure you like, please consider subscribing and share this video. There's his beautiful face. I'm gonna zoom in for a second. There he is. Okay, let's put him away now. Thank you, Zito. I don't know if you saw the video of the little girl flowing, and I know I had to give you a shout out because I do believe that you flow. Now, what do you call it? The mat when you're in a taekwondo match?
Oh, the ring?
Oh, the ring. Yes.
The Korean martial arts is very westernized.
True.
You know, at least the ones that they teach over here, even if you have a Korean teacher.
Yeah.
Like the Korean flag will always be side by side with the American flag.
Well, what do they call it in Korean? Well, obviously it will be in Korean, but like, so is it in the ring? What's Taekwondo practice at?
Well, if you're sparring, it's in a ring.
Okay, sparring. That's the word.
Okay. It's just a school.
Okay.
Not all schools have mats, so it's not like you need something to get thrown on the floor all the time. Yeah. Sometimes Taekwondo schools have like hardwood floors. Sometimes they have mats. Sometimes they have tiles. It's really whatever.
Yeah.
You don't really need a lot of special equipment with Taekwondo. You just need like kind of like loose fitting clothes and like somebody that knows what they're doing, so you won't get hurt.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But you don't have to throw people around in Taekwondo. It's more like, especially Olympic style Taekwondo, it's more like tag that you play with your feet.
That's funny.
It's like hit them with your foot. You're it.
I have a question, which I'm so afraid to ask because you definitely had the 80s hardcore master. I want to know, when did you feel you did your very best at practice before going out into the ring? When, or whenever, when in Taekwondo, just purely Taekwondo, when did you know you did your best?
I guess when you feel like you left everything on the mat, like you left everything you had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you were just like done. You were spent.
Yeah, I mean, you're someone I know because I've seen you in so many other fields, but like someone who really puts in the reps. When you're putting in reps, when you're in practice mode, when do you stop? Or did you not stop? Tell us the truth. Tell us the truth.
Yeah, you have your hour, or hour 45, whatever it is, that's your training time, and you just you give it all in that time, and then you go home. I spent a lot of time like resting. So if I was in a full training mode, like nothing. I mean, I was obviously still a teenager for when I was really into the competition, but when nothing else really mattered. So it was just like everything you did was about the time you got to go and practice. Down to like what you ate, how much you slept, like even the plans you would make. You weren't making plans of anybody to go anywhere. Oh my God, these people are fighting over who gets to go first. And he's like,
so you guys were like a close circle. You did a lot of things together. So like you ate, you hung out, you did a lot of things together.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so all my friends were in the school, so
Taekwondo.
Yeah, the Taekwondo school. So yeah, like if we were training for something, we weren't like hanging out like up into the competition, and everything was just it was weird because like again, it was the 80s, so I think like American exceptionalism kind of like, especially that society, kind of, at least my school. So like the school would always feel like we were the best, but why were we the best? Because we're just the best, And so like it was really hard. I got to a certain point with my own school where I was like, okay, if I want to go, and at the time I wanted to go to the Olympics, I was like, I need to start looking for better teachers. Like people who have been to the Olympics, people who know how to get there. And the internet
not just
was
claim to be A class, but actually
yeah. And the internet wasn't what the internet is today. So there weren't these like people like posting videos or blog posts. There might have been blog posts, but even just finding them was like, so it kind of went on a quest. And so I tried out some other teachers, but it wasn't anything that was good. But it was only really in the local Staten Island community. I think some of the best Taekwondo practitioners were like, they were like more like in the middle of the country, Ohio of all places.
Really?
I just didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
I think Ohio,
Somewhere in the mid.
someone in the middle of the country, and it was one of those things where it was like we didn't really know. I don't think anyone had ever like done any like actual seriously sit down and like why does this work? Why does this not work? Like, how do you get better? It was just like practice. And so it wasn't like smart practicing. It was just like practicing for practicing's sake. There were like things floating in the air, like you have to earn it more than your opponent. So like you have to wake up earlier. You have to do more laps. You have to do more reps.
I heard of that kind of training. I'm not going to name the basketball player, but he's like, I will outwork everybody. Now, Will Smith also says that. And that's like all about the other person. That's not really doing the best for yourself. I was watching a lot of videos just on that topic of doing your best. And I didn't really like that, because then that's what creates this like very unhealthy, not unhealthy, but like this red competition. Like, I'm better than you. I'm going to do better than you. So I like that. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, thank you, honey. I mean, I know I seen you just practice what's it called with a big stick and you flip it around in the backyard. Big stick.
Bow staff?
A
A bow
what?
staff? Like a
Yeah.
bow staff or a staff?
Yeah, both staff. Yeah. And I seen like I I've experienced watching you flow with it, and I know that okay, so the reps are very important, but something you've told me, especially when I go and do things I not the best at, like testing, you also talk about low and slow breath. And
Mhm.
I am thinking about this little girl, the video that we just showed with Dada. I'm flowing. I'm floating. And she's low and slow breathing. And so guys, just another thing I wanted to add in here, I will say that the third thing from this video is slowing down to know that you already put in the reps, that you practice, that you've done this. Is that correct, Zito? Like when what does the low and slow breath do to you when you're in the ring?
Just you have to stay like in a calm state. You kind of have to
Help us those who are not really familiar with the calm space. Take us there, Zito.
it I don't know. So it's like you're practicing. You practice so much that like your body is doing things without you like telling
Mm-hmm.
it to do it. It just
Mm-hmm.
knows what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're gonna get hit. Like someone's gonna hit you. Like what do you do when you get hit? Like you know, like how does your body react? How does it move? It's not like other sports where like someone's throwing you a ball, like someone's trying to knock your head off,
Mm-hmm.
and so you have to like train for that, where it's like your body just knows where to move and how to move, and you kind of just gotta you can't be thinking about anything else. You can't be thinking about like girlfriend drama. You can't be thinking about like school drama, family
Mm-hmm.
drama. It's refreshing in one way.
Wow.
It's
That's
just you
discipline.
and someone else in a ring, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's all that exists.
Mm-hmm.
And if you try and bring anything else into it, like if you try and work out your issues, and I'm sure some people do,
Yeah.
it's just not great, so I always felt like going into a fight that it was really like just me. I was the only person there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
me against
Right.
me.
Hey,
And
yes, me against me. Woo!
I think it's from a Rocky song though too. I don't know if it's
I'm courting you. Me against me. Oh,
and,
geez.
and it's just like it's refreshing that way. But at that point you've been sparring so much, like with people at your school, that this isn't something like this is the first time you're getting in there and you're getting hit. Like this has been like months building up to it. And the cool thing that I like about like the Taekwondo organization from when I was a kid, is that I feel like they really do a good job of like just even like bringing up children.
Okay.
Just not to be afraid, and just to believe in themselves. And Taekwondo has all of these like core values, that you get taught different ways. And there's even games, and all the games are like, they're fun, but they're all designed to have you face some type of fear.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they realize that's what they're doing. It's kind of like, oh, this is a game that like like my teachers taught me. All right, I'm gonna throw some stuff at you now.
Well, but that's what you said earlier, Jimmy. I think that's so
Yeah.
powerful that you guys are trained to see the end in mind. Okay, it's not if you're gonna get attacked. It's like when you get hit or when this happens, what do you do about it? And you had practice how to get yourself out of the situation, or how to like reverse, or how to like You know what I'm saying? That's the end in mind. And now with this, what you're talking about, like as little kids, like going into fear, it's like, okay, it's not if you're gonna be afraid. You're gonna be afraid. Listen, little little chickens, little nuggets. You're gonna
It's a
be
lot of
afraid. That's so
it's a
cool.
lot of stepping into it, like, you know, instead of retreating. It's a lot of like going
That's
into
where you
like
learned it.
yeah, it's a lot about leaning in, you know.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it's like, because you could like you can't run away from your opponent. The ring is only so big.
Yeah.
And you know, you really have to get in there. And then
Yeah.
if you see two people that really like know what they're doing, and Taekwondo isn't what Taekwondo used to be, because there's so many pads. It's hard to see like the artistry of these athletes underneath all of this equipment. That a lot of it I feel like is very unnecessary.
Did you say artistry?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but it's almost like a dance, because they're flowing and they're moving so quickly, and like, you know, the bodies are in sync, and
Yeah.
you know, like it really is like, like when you see like two like masters go at it, it's really something. It's something
Beautiful.
special.
It's a dance. You know? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. This is awesome. Charmaine just put up a picture in here. I know you can't see it, but it's the archery, and I love everything that you're saying in here. Because in archery, you're practicing the flow of what, because it's not about being taught on focus on target, you know. It's focus on your breath and what your body's doing, and like you said, focus, and it's just you, it's you, and that's hard. It's hard for me, because then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what is the 10-year-old next to me going to think when I miss this shot? When I was practicing archery, you know. Instead, it's me against me, in blocking that out. That's why I had mentioned archery is 99.9% mental. So everything you're saying, I love this picture. I love that's definitely the stand. I mean, she actually does play. I don't think she's a model. It looks like she's an archer for sure. Like, just all about her stand right there, her position, her breathing, her focus, even though you can't fully see her. I love this. Oh my gosh, guys, tell me what you've got from what Jimmy has shared. And Jimmy, I know I got excited. Were your thought was completed? I just want to make sure.
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. I mean, I think anyone that's had that experience of like, you know, like physical training to whatever degree that they did it, which is one of the reasons I'm excited to get back into some type of training, is, you know, like there's a lot of like targeted practice that goes into it too. It's not just like getting on a treadmill and running. You know, it's like you have to figure out like, where am I weak? How can I get stronger in those areas? What strategies when I go into practice, like how am I going to practice today? You know, like, I mean, I remember I got to a point where like I could win any match with anyone in my school. But it was no longer helping me, you know, because I wasn't learning anything. And it would almost be lazy, because some of these people, they weren't only just like I could beat them in a match, but like I in some ways I had watched so many of them grow up, so it's like I knew them, you know. So like, you know, trying to seek out those situations where you can go against somebody like that you're not familiar with, or that's better than you, like, you know, like I would always say like getting a butt whooping like taught you more than like going in and like winning match after match after match. So it was always, I was always excited if we had like a visiting black belt who wasn't always there, who I knew was very good and it was very challenging. You know, I would always beg my teacher to let us spar. And like the person would be like, dude, I'm not even into training anymore. Like, you know, like I'm just trying to get back. You really want to fight me today? And it's like, yeah. You know, because
Beat me up, please.
they're either Yeah, they were either older, stronger, or just more experienced. So it's like, and they were just different. So it's not like I was going up against somebody who thought and moved the same way as like everybody in my immediate circle, you know, the 30 people that were in my school.
And like also who knew you. So, I think we lost you for a hot second. That's okay.
And college was cool for that too, because then I got exposed to people who did like other martial arts.
Okay.
And then it's like we'd all get together and we'd like, you know, we try and beat each other up. And even just explaining the rules to each other, it'd be like, someone would like throw me and I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, oh, like that. Let me explain the rules of my martial art. Like, yeah, I'm gonna try and throw you, and you have to try and throw me. And
how did you feel the first time you were thrown around?
I thought it was hysterical. Like,
of course you did.
Yeah, and anyone who I feel like decides, okay, I'm gonna go pursue something where strangers or my friends are trying to knock me out is like a special individual. And it's like there's a certain sense of humor almost that like I think like non-martial artists like don't get it.
Totally.
Like I somehow got onto Taekwondo Talk a little while ago.
Okay, what is that?
That's like TikTok, but where like all like the martial arts hang out with.
No, that's cool.
And there was this video of this woman walking around and she was like only martial artists would understand, and she's like closing like random cabinets with her feet.
Oh,
And I don't know if you've seen me do that. Yeah, you've seen me probably do that sometimes too. It's like walk around like I close things with my feet. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I can still reach that.
Nice.
I probably don't do it so much when you're around because you'll yell at me about my gatas in your kitchen.
Yeah. Hello. Now I know. Wait, have you done it this past 12 years?
Oh yeah, I grab vegetables sometimes and I cut them up.
That's how you cook. Okay, we are done with the show. We have hit the 36-minute wrap.
Wow.
No, this was so cool, which is, again, I know a lot of the things you said, you told me about testing and strategy. So I'm looking forward to applying these things. And one of the things that I remember from testing is when I had that the ear thing. I'm not gonna have it for my test this time around, but I do remember how that helped me to narrow like down my breath, and it was only me. There was nobody around me. And so for this coming test, I'm gonna be alone, and that's really cool. It's so cool to have that. Remember in Matrix, the white screen in Matrix? Mm-hmm. that calls me so much. Maybe I'll rewatch that little clip right before. Anyway, guys, oh my goodness, so much nuggets in here. Please drop it in the comment. Again, please consider liking, sharing this, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, whether you're watching on Instagram or Facebook. Come on over to YouTube, guys. We want to get to our 300 subscribers. Let's do it. That's an aim. Please make sure to share it with someone who can definitely benefit from some of the nuggets, the video, share all these amazing people on Instagram. And shout out to Dane Cook. I did my best. I did my best. And if we're not doing the best, cry about it, okay? All right, Zito, we're going to get out of here. I want to see you little dancing. Let's bring out DJ Charmaine. We got music in the house. Oh, we got some fancy ones. Guys, we will see you. Thanks for watching.